Summary. Mending Wall is a poem by Robert Frost about two neighbors who meet annually to repair a stone wall that separates their properties. The speaker questions the necessity of the wall, as there are no cows or other livestock to contain. However, his neighbor adheres to the old adage, "Good fences make good neighbors," and insists on maintaining the wall. The poem explores themes of tradition, individuality, and the human tendency to create boundaries, even when they may not be needed. Setting. The setting of Mending Wall is a rural area, most likely in New England, where Frost lived and drew inspiration from. The specific time period is not explicitly stated, but it's implied to be in the early 20th century, during Frost's lifetime. The poem's setting focuses on the boundary between two neighboring properties, marked by a stone wall. The annual ritual of mending this wall provides the backdrop for the philosophical and interpersonal conflict explored in the poem. Themes in Mending Wall by Robert Frost. Tradition versus individuality. Example, the neighbor's insistence on maintaining the wall, despite its apparent uselessness, represents adherence to tradition. Analysis. Frost explores the tension between blindly following tradition and questioning its purpose. The speaker's questioning of the wall's necessity highlights the conflict between individual thought and societal norms. 2. Human connection and isolation. Example, the annual ritual of mending the wall brings the neighbors together, yet they remain distant and disconnected. Analysis. The poem delves into the paradox of human interaction. While the act of mending the wall is a shared experience, it also reinforces the division between the two properties. 3. The nature of boundaries. Example, the stone wall serves as a physical boundary, but it also symbolizes emotional and intellectual boundaries. Analysis. Frost examines the reasons for erecting boundaries, whether they are physical, social, or ideological. The poem questions the necessity of such divisions and their impact on human relationships. The role of language. Example, the neighbor's repeated phrase, "Good fences make good neighbors," is a powerful yet simplistic statement. Analysis. Frost highlights the limitations of language to convey complex ideas and emotions. The neighbor's reliance on a proverb reveals a lack of critical thinking and a resistance to change. The power of nature. Example, the natural world, represented by the growing apple trees and the changing seasons, contrasts with the man-made wall. Analysis. Frost suggests that nature's cyclical rhythms and organic growth are often at odds with human-imposed structures and limitations. 6. The importance of questioning. Example, the speaker's questioning of the wall's purpose challenges the status quo and encourages critical thinking. Analysis. The poem emphasizes the value of questioning tradition and convention. By questioning the necessity of the wall, the speaker invites the reader to consider the deeper implications of human behavior. 7. The cycle of life and death. Example, the annual ritual of mending the wall is a cyclical process, reflecting the cyclical nature of life. Analysis. Frost suggests that the act of repairing the wall is a metaphor for the constant struggle to maintain order and stability in a world of change and decay. 8. The tension between reason and emotion. Example, the speaker's rational argument against the wall clashes with the neighbor's emotional attachment to tradition. Analysis. The poem explores the conflict between logical thought and emotional impulse. The neighbor's reliance on sentimentality highlights the limitations of pure reason. 9. The role of conformity. Example, the neighbor's insistence on maintaining the wall, even when it serves no practical purpose, demonstrates a desire to conform to societal norms. Analysis. Frost examines the pressure to conform and the consequences of blindly following the crowd. The speaker's resistance to this pressure highlights the importance of individuality. 10. The impact of the past on the present. Example, the wall's historical significance as a symbol of property ownership and territorial boundaries shapes the present-day interaction between the neighbors. Analysis. The poem suggests that the past can have a lasting impact on the present. The wall's continued existence, despite its apparent uselessness, is a testament to the power of tradition. 11. The search for meaning. Example: the speaker's questioning of the wall's purpose reflects a broader search for meaning and purpose in life. Analysis. The poem invites the reader to contemplate the deeper significance of human actions and the nature of existence. 12. The power of silence. Example: the poem often relies on silence and unspoken thoughts to convey meaning. Analysis. Frost suggests that silence can be as powerful a form of communication as language. The unspoken tensions and unspoken questions between the neighbors add depth and complexity to the poem. Literary devices in Mending Wall. 1. Imagery. Imagery is the use of vivid language to create pictures in the reader's mind. Frost masterfully employs imagery to paint a clear picture of the rural setting, the stone wall, and the act of mending. For instance, the image of wearing our fingers rough with handling stone evokes a sense of physical labor and the passage of time. 2. Symbolism. Symbolism is the use of objects, characters, or events to represent abstract ideas. The stone wall, a central symbol in the poem, represents various concepts. It can symbolize physical boundaries, emotional barriers, or societal conventions. 3. Metaphor. A metaphor is a figure of speech that compares two unlike things directly. Frost uses metaphor to convey deeper meanings. For example, the neighbor's moving in darkness is a metaphorical comparison to his lack of critical thinking and his adherence to tradition without question. 4. Personification. Personification is a figure of speech that gives human qualities to non-human things. In Mending Wall, Frost personifies something there is that doesn't love a wall. This personification suggests a natural force or universal truth that opposes division and separation. 5. Juxtaposition. Juxtaposition is the placement of two contrasting ideas or images side by side. Frost juxtaposes the natural world, trees, birds, with the man-made wall. This contrast highlights the tension between human-made structures and the organic nature of the world. 6. Alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of consonant sounds at the beginning of words. The alliteration in "good fences make good neighbors" creates a rhythmic and memorable phrase, emphasizing the neighbor's belief in the importance of boundaries. 7. Enjambment. Enjambment is the continuation of a sentence or phrase across multiple lines of poetry. This technique creates a sense of flow and rhythm, as well as suspense and anticipation. For example, the enjambment in "and set the wall between us once again." "We wear our fingers rough with handling stone" connects the two lines, emphasizing the cyclical nature of the wall mending process. 8. Irony. Irony is a literary device that involves a contrast between what is expected and what actually happens. In Mending Wall, the irony lies in the neighbor's insistence on maintaining the wall, even though it serves no practical purpose. This irony highlights the absurdity of human behavior and the power of tradition. Conclusion. Robert Frost's Mending Wall is a profound exploration of human nature and the complexities of interpersonal relationships. Through the simple act of mending a stone wall, Frost delves into deeper themes of tradition, individuality, and the nature of boundaries. The poem invites readers to question the reasons behind our divisions, both physical and emotional. The neighbor's adherence to the adage, "good fences make good neighbors," challenges the speaker to reconcile his desire for connection with the need for individuality. Ultimately, Mending Wall serves as a timeless meditation on the human condition, urging us to examine the walls we erect and the bridges we fail to build.